wabarakatuh. This is the presentation video from Group 3. In this occasion, we would like to explain about the writer, reader, and text. Before we start our presentation, we would like to introduce ourselves. The first member is I myself. My name is Dewi Putri Nabila. And the second is Agung Fitriawan. And the last is Dila Fadila. Okay, to make time more efficient, let's begin to the first material. The first material will be delivered by myself. On the first slide, we can see that there are two pairs of terms, namely writer, which pairs with reader, and narrator, which pairs with narrative. As we know that in the previous semester, Mr. Pepen Priawan has explained about persona. Persona explain about what is the difference between the writer and the author, between the writer and the narrator. So, to refresh our memories, I would like to explain it again briefly about this material. According to Angela Goddard, the writer is the person who constructs the text in reality, while the narrator is the storyteller within the text. For example, if I become a writer, the real identity of me is a woman in 20 years old, but when I construct the text, I can create another narrator. The narrator can be a child, can be an old man, perhaps, or anything that I want. It also can become a cartoon character, or perhaps an animal who can speak. It can be anything, any kind of narrator. While in advertisement, the real writer is the copywriter, or the people who works in advertising agencies, creative department, and those people can make all sort of different narrators to deliver the message of the advertisement. Beside the writer and the narrator, there are also the reader and the narrative. Perhaps it seems similar, but actually it has a little bit different. If the reader is only the person who reads the text, so it means that the reader can be a whole public, while the narrative is the people or a specific group who are being addressed by the narrator. So, in the advertisement, the narrative related to the marketing target of the advertisement. So here, I provide an advertisement from tobacco. In this advertisement, the narrator said tobacconist. This tobacconist is related to the narrative because the tobacconist is the marketing target of this advertisement. So it means tobacconist is the narrative, tobacconist is the customer of this product. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. The first one is creative. When we made an advertisement, of course, the advertisement should be interesting. So, the customer will remember our advertisement and, of course, buy our product. So, to make it interesting, to make it gain attention from the customer, so we need creativity to make the advertisement become interesting. And this is the example of a creative advertisement. I found it on YouTube. This is an advertisement to promote Gojek. The title is Gozali.
Topan desu. Butate, Gojek, takoyaki. 安西ください殺してすごーい。うさうさヘロコサッチ。私はゴライチョワナです。おい、いてるのか。いや、うどんです。ななみあみやびこれは。ああ、 クラクラプルサセバツ。ハニー、今プルサ入れたんだよ。
はい、デベタンデスク。
ドラドラは若いじゅ。風ボクレソンシズイ。ああ、やっと来た。
Masih wadahnya, Mas?
いやー。ini Gojek versi ku. Kalau versimu? いい感じだ。
As we've seen on the advertisement, it is really creative advertisement because either using Godzilla, the copywriter use the term of Gozali, which it is really related to Indonesian people. It is the name of Indonesian people, so it is really suitable with the culture that have in Indonesia. And also, this advertisement using Japanese language in this advertisement, but actually when you hear the conversation between the Gozali and the hero or the gebetan, they are not really using Japanese language in their conversation. The Godzilla say that Miyabi or Gebetan Nesku or anything, some kind of that. The Godzilla use abusive language. So this advertisement become really funny and interesting, especially for me as a customer. The second is knowing the target. When we made an advertisement, it is important to know who is the target of our advertisement. It is really important because it can make us easier to determine what kind of advertisement that we will make. For example, is when we want to make an advertisement for teenager as the marketing target, so we can consider to make an advertisement which consists of full color or fun atmosphere or something that related to teenager, so it can gain the teenager attention and want to buy our products. So it is also related to the target of the product. So if we want to marketing in Indonesian, so we have to use Bahasa Indonesia, of course. And when we want to make it an international marketing, so we need to use an international language such as English. The third one is language. It is important because we need to consider what kind of language variation that we will use in our advertisement. Is it formal or informal? Is it using Bahasa Indonesia or English perhaps? It is related to what we need in our advertisement and what is the purpose of our advertisement. And the last one is culture. Culture become important in advertisement because it can affect the target understanding about the advertisement that we give. So we have to consider where and in what kind of culture that the target have in their society. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. The next material is about what the writer should do and don't. We will start with the writer should do. The first is use simple words. It is good because when we use a complicated words or terms, it only can make the customer or the readers being confused, and they actually couldn't really get the point of our advertisement. The second point is use short sentence. Stick to 15 till 20 words per sentence. I think this is the right composition because when we made it too long, when we made a long sentence, it only can make the reader get bored and confused about what we want to say. So, to make it more effective, we need to make it compact because the most important thing in advertisement is what we want to say, what the message of our advertisement is being delivered completely to the reader, to the narrative, to the customer. The third point is use short paragraph, up to 5 sentences per paragraph. The last one is use active voice rather than passive voice. Such as in the slide that we can see that there are two examples about passive and active voice. It is better to use the sentence of the chicken across the road rather than the road was crossed by the chicken, because the active voice can give the more effective communication in this advertisement. Okay, here are the example of the advertisement. On the first advertisement, it is about a charity for a baby girl who had an accident by her father. I think it is a good advertisement because the advertisement use a simple words, a short sentence, and using active voice rather than passive voice, and also it is consists of many important information about the charity.
Pagi-pagi banget ketika hari baru dimulai. Fresti memilih dan memetik daun teh yang berkualitas tinggi untuk dapetin rasa teh yang nyegerin dan enak. Juga menjaga kesegaran pagi dalam setiap botolnya untuk kamu nikmati. Kesegaran pagi dalam sebotol Fresti untuk berbuka puasa.
While the second advertisement is also a good advertisement because it is also fulfill the criteria of what the writer should do when conducting an advertisement. This advertisement using simple words, short sentence, short paragraph, and using active voice rather than passive voice. The next slide is about what the writers done. The first point is about don't use adjective and flowering words because it didn't give any value to the advertisement, and it only make the advertisement become rambling. The second point is don't use jargon or abbreviation because when the people didn't understand what is the meaning of the jargon of the abbreviation, will make the audience being confused. So it is better to use the general terms instead of using jargon or abbreviation. The third point is don't be ambiguous because it can cause the misunderstanding and the message of the advertisement couldn't be delivered to the readers. And the fourth is don't repeat yourself because when you write the same word for several times, it is not efficient. Rather than to write the same word for several times, it is better to add more important information to the advertisement. And the fourth is don't repeat yourself because when you write the same word for several times, it is not efficient. Rather than to write the same word for several times, it is better to add more important information to the advertisement. And the last one is don't be sexist, racist, and ageist. It means that don't make any discrimination either by gender, race, or by age.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Agung Fitrawan. I am one of the members of the third group in language and advertisement class. And in this video, I am going to talk about writers, readers, and text, and also copywriting, which is only continuation which my friend had been recording in the previous video. And yeah. So in order to make a good advertisements, you need to know the art of knowing what you want to say, which is copywriting. Copywriting is the knowledge of what you want to say to someone, how to say it, when to say it, and how to say it, so your audience or reader would listen to you. And in order to do that, you need to know the device of copywriting. There are rhythm, lexical, and intonation. But before we are going to device, you should know that copywriting or copywriters need to be relevant to what they are going to say, or what they are going to say, obviously. And they need to be focused, which means that don't ever stray off what you are going to talk about to your audience or to your readers. You need to be timely, you need to be effective of using words and sentence or paragraphs, and those sentence or paragraphs needs to be readable by your readable by your audience and readers. Sorry. So the aim of advertising, as you guys should know, is need to be catchy and easy to remember, so your audiences and readers always remember your advertisement. In other words, your advertisements will stuck in their idea, in their mind, which is good for copywriters. About the devices that the copywriters should know is intonation. Obviously the video is going to the device is intonation, rhythm, and lexical stress. All those devices are sentences signal, according to Widdowson, which also could be called as cohesion, which means that repeated patterns that provides a kind of texture of the text that sets up as a kind of connection or cohesion across the sentence. The next is, for the reader to understand the reference that are going to made, the copywriters the copywriters need to know the readers or the audience's culture, because every cultures have different language, different accents, different diction, different dialect. So if you want to make your advertisement understandable by your audience, you need to know the dialect or the accent, the culture in general. The next one is to achieve the unity means the perfection of the sentence and the words, and the continuity, which means your advertisement will be remembered by your audience and readers, and the fluency, which is basically your audience is remembering and understanding your advertisement. To achieve that, you need to know the previous things that I've talked about, which is copywriting. Okay, I think that's it for my presentation in this video. I hope you guys will enjoy it and understand this. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, this is the end of our presentation. If you have any question, you can send a message to Dila.